You remember from the previous video that the value proposition explains the revenue part of the profit equation and that the value architecture defines the cost and the level of capital employed. Now that you have a general understanding of the profit equation, let's dig into the details. Let's first subtract costs from the revenue. We get the operating result, also called earnings before interest and taxes, the well-known EBIT. The EBIT is what is left when the company has paid all its costs. Let's now consider two companies, A and B, with both the same revenue, 1,000 euros. A has 850 euros of costs and B 880. So A has a better EBIT than B. Now let me ask you which company is the most profitable. You can pause this video to have time to think about it. So what do you think? Which company is the most profitable? At this stage, you're not able to answer my question. Indeed, to measure profitability, you have to know how much money the company needs to run its business. That is, you have to know how much capital is needed, required, thus the capital employed. Profitability is measured by comparing EBIT to capital employed. Basically, how much is left compared to how much you had to put on the table to run your business. This ratio is the well-known ROCE, the economic profit of the company, the return on capital employed. In our example here, company A has 2,000 of capital employed and B only 1,200. So if I divide the EBIT by the amount of capital employed, I get my ROCE and I see that the most profitable company is B, despite a lower EBIT over sales. Let's consider two real examples that we have discussed before. Remember BlaBlaCar. This is a carpooling website and drivers post spots available on their cars on the internet and passengers purchase them online. Think about the capital employed needed by BlaBlaCar. Basically, besides the website itself, there are no other assets nor working capital requirements. This means that overall, the level of capital employed is very low in this business. Now consider a similar value proposition, the car-sharing company Zipcar. Zipcar members pay an annual subscription fee and can reserve a car by the hour or day. But the cars belong to Zipcar. This means that the amount of capital required is much higher at Zipcar than BlaBlaCar. So you see from this example that with a very similar value proposition, in this case, use a car if you don't own one, the capital employed structure can be very different. To achieve the same profitability, Zipcar will need to come up with a much better EBIT per sales level. So again, the overall message of the business model is that the value proposition and the value architecture need to be aligned in order to create a profit. Again, it is very easy for a company to be low price. Price is something that the company decides upon. However, if the company seeks a profit, it then needs to be really low costs, which is sometimes very difficult to achieve. Value architecture and value proposition need to be aligned. The business model must be consistent. To sum it all up, the business model explains the origin of the return on capital employed, the ROCE, sometimes also called the ROCE. It describes the way in which a company generates income from the value proposition and incurs costs and capital employed, this being inherent to the choices in the value architecture.